Broncos country, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm going to dive into my most important position battles for OTAs, the things that I'm looking for, the guys who I think are going to be hyped up coming out of OTAs. You know, we had a handful of guys last year that we were hyped up on, most notably the great Bo Nix. But we got some other positions outside of the quarterback room that I think you need to be keeping your eye on. Who are the guys that you're hoping step up in OTAs that ball out? What are the position battles you're looking at? Like, subscribe, let me know in the comments. But we're going to dive into what I think right now. So let's go ahead and get started. First guy in the chopping block coming in here is the tight end 3 spot. Of course, we got Evan Ingram. I think Adam Troutman right now is probably as good of a lock as you could expect right now. Lucas Krull. Lucas Krull, I love you, man, but you were disappointing last year. You couldn't even get on the field last year when our tight ends were absolute trash. And you saw last year 19 receptions, 152 yards, no touchdowns, averaged 8 yards a reception. It's got to be better. And honestly, I feel like building off of rookie OTAs, a guy that's going to come out as an absolute winner is going to be Caleb Lohner. You got that right. Caleb Lohner, the basketball player. 4 for 4, 4 catches, 4 touchdowns, 3 of which were beyond 10 yards. Okay. This guy's 6'7". Cecil and Mace, we're very impressed with him at rookie minicamp. Now, we do need to take that with a grain of salt because they had us bricked up over Lucas Krull all summer long, all offseason long, and you saw how far that got us. But I think this man, Lucas Krull, or Caleb Lohner rather, he is a better athlete, more potential at this point. Only 23 years old. Is he our next or our own version of having a white Antonio Gates? I sure hope so. Hopefully we found him in the 7th round. I see Caleb Lohner coming out of OTAs as a big-time winner, and it's going to set up for a beautiful training camp battle for the tight end 3 spot between him and Lucas Krull. Now, let's move on. What else am I looking for at OTAs? There's some other things on the offense I want to look at, but let's go to the defense. How does Drew Sanders look in terms of his level of comfort at the inside linebacker position? Of course, a tremendous athlete. He was great on special teams last year. He had a sack. I think that might have been, was it against the Chargers or the Raiders? I can't remember, but had a sack out there. Might have been against the Falcons. Nonetheless, you know, more than a year removed now from the Achilles injury. That's great. 6'5", 230 plus pounds. And I still think he has the speed to be an effective inside linebacker. How comfortable does he look? Does he look like he can push Alex Singleton for a position on the starting lineup? That would even possibly make Alex Singleton expendable. That would be interesting. But Drew Sanders, I know you're not going to get padded practices here with OTAs, but can he show greater anticipation skills? He still had difficulty reading like stuff like play action effectively, which you want to be able to read that effectively as an inside linebacker. You're going to get chewed out if you're not reading that effectively by NFL offenses. How does Drew Sanders look? Okay, now let's continue to move on. I'm also very interested to see where we put somebody like Hugh Robinson. 6'4", 240 plus pounds, just lightning quick off the line. I hope that Denver chooses to make him work as an edge. Now, when you talk about the game day active guys, he's going to be active for special teams. But does that possibly mean he's also an emergency inside linebacker for us? Or do you possibly have a safety, bigger safety, come in and take that role? Because, yeah, you only have a finite number of guys that can be active, that can wear the jerseys. So on game day, do we carry 5 active edges, or My fear is that we try and make Hugh Robinson an inside guy as well, because he wasn't effective like inside blitzer too. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Where is he at? Is he at edge? Is he at inside? Is he doing a little bit of both? I think that's bad. Put him at one position. My hope is that it's edge and that we just bite the bullet, man, with the inside linebacker stuff. Maybe we carry Drew Sanders, Alex Singleton, Dre Greenlaw, maybe Lavelle Bailey. We'll have to see what the rest of the position groups look like, right, for those game day activations. That's the other thing I'm looking at. Now, lastly, I think one guy that's going to be a star coming out of these OTAs is third-round draft pick Pat Bryant. He's fantastic. I think he looked great. But how good does he and I thought he looked great in rookie minicamp, according to the people there. But how good does he look compared to guys like Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Devon Vele? Does he already look more developed as a route runner than those guys? He might, which I think could, create an opportunity for him to get on the field and ahead of those guys on the depth chart earlier on in training camp than what people might expect. Pat Bryant's somebody to keep an eye on here. Also, go and take a look here. I think another guy who could shine in OTAs is AT Perry. I can't quit AT Perry, y'all. I can't quit him. He's 6'5". He can run downfield with plenty of speed. He's an exciting player. Why didn't we see him on the field last year? Is it because he sucks? He very well could be. But we're going to find out in OTAs in training camp. Was he just a victim of bad circumstance, being cut after the season started with the Saints? Held back? Is he just a gem that we found off of waivers? Or does he just suck? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. AT Perry's a guy that I'm going to be watching because AT Perry's spot on this roster, of course, is not guaranteed. But I can't quit AT Perry, guys. I can't. I want to believe. Has he given me any indication that he's anything other than a practice squad guy right now with the Broncos? Sadly, no. But I have not given up hope yet on AT Perry. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to for training camp or for OTAs right now is how does the wide receiver room look? I talked about Marvin Mims a little bit earlier on this week, but I think Pat Bryant's really going to stand out in OTAs. How does Drew Sanders look? This is the final year for Drew Sanders. Where's Q Robinson at? And how does the back end of the tight end room perform in OTAs? So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments on these things. Let me know your ideas for players to watch for in the comments. Thank you guys so much. And as always, go Broncos.